Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Thank you, Kim. Welcome, everybody, to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Josh Taylor, in tonight for Rich Walsh. He is in El Paso on assignment covering Pitt and the Hyundai Sun Bowl. Of course, that is Monday, New Year's Eve, 2 o'clock over on KDKA, so be sure to check that out. A lot of football coming in the next 48 hours. Tomorrow at 4:25, remember, game kickoff has been changed from 1 to 4:25. So 4:25 over on KDKA, it is Steelers and Bengals. And then after the game, right back here, it's the Xfinity Extra Point. Bob Pompiani, Chris Hoke will be talking about the game, plus a special edition of this very show, this very show, the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. So we got a lot of football to talk about here over on KDK and Pittsburgh CW in the next 48 hours. In the meantime, let's break some of that down. We got Steelers and Bengals tomorrow. The injury report is something that's been pretty much discussed most of the week. The question marks going into tomorrow: will Antonio Brown play? He's questionable with a knee injury. James Conner has practiced all week. I think that's a good sign. Sean Davis practiced yesterday. I thought that was a good sign. However, Vince Williams has not. I believe he's still listed as doubtful. Conner, Brown, and Davis all listed as questionable. I think that looks a lot better for those three guys than it does for Vince Williams. But the injury report is something that will be discussed a lot before we go in tomorrow afternoon's game. So that's something to keep an eye on. On the other side, you got a banged-up Bengals team. No Tyler Boyd, no A.J. Green, no Andy Dalton. So the three pretty much main guys on offense that probably present the biggest challenge to what the Steelers do defensively, those guys aren't there. Jeff Driscoll is the guy at quarterback. Are you worried about Jeff Driscoll? Are you worried about what this offense could do? Or are you more worried about if the defense can actually hold what's in front of them? I think that's one of the questions, too. If I'm looking at this game, knowing the circumstances, knowing what you're up against, knowing that you have to win this game, but you also need help to remove all doubt, get up in this game as early as you can. Score points early. You want a performance that's a lot more like what happened against Atlanta. You want a performance that's a lot more like what happened against Carolina. Get a big lead early. Get off the field. Get a couple turnovers. Maybe get some touchdowns off those turnovers like you did against Carolina and Atlanta. And put together a big lead early so maybe you don't have to get down to the moments of the game that are that critical, like you did against Jacksonville, like you did against Denver, like you did against Oakland, like you did against Cleveland in week 1. If you can avoid those problems at every turn, the best way to do it, get ahead early and have a comfortable lead. So that way you don't have to worry about those critical plays coming back to haunt you. And that's one thing that's probably that I think should be at the forefront. I feel like this team, honestly, its biggest struggles all season long have come when they've had leads. That's been the biggest issue, I think. They blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter against Cleveland. They blew a 16-point halftime lead against the Chargers. They blew a lead 2 different times against Oakland. You can't keep giving the other team the opportunity to come back and get into games. When you get those opportunities, you got to take advantage. They had the lead against New Orleans, and then things went wrong. There was a Stephen Ridley fumble. After that, there was the fake punt possession before it set up the very last one where Juju Smith-Schuster fumbled. If you have those opportunities with the lead, those are the best times that you have to put the game away, but you have to have ball security. That is one of the most important things. I think back to when Pete Carroll first took over at USC. He walks in the office his first time talking with the team. He's got a ball in his hand and says, look, this is the most important thing we're going to talk about. Keeping the ball is the most important facet of the game. If we keep the ball, we'll score more points and have a better opportunity to win. And he had coached some pretty good teams at USC, before all the scandals and everything, and the Reggie Bush thing messed everything up. But you see where I'm going with this. It is more important to have that kind of opportunity. And one of the best ways to do it is avoid mistakes, avoid giving up turnovers. And that's something that has plagued this team throughout the course of the season. So can they minimize those mistakes on offense? That's one thing I'm looking at. On the other side of it, Cleveland in Baltimore taking on the Ravens. We're talking about the best team defense in the league. Baltimore, number 3 against the run, number 4 against the pass. They're going to make it difficult. But Cleveland's defense, nothing to sniff at. They're a pretty good unit, too. This is a Cleveland defense that, once again, did what the Steelers couldn't do. They held New Orleans to 21 points in New Orleans, and they were within a field goal and had a shot to at least tie that game. Can Cleveland's defense keep Baltimore at least within arm's reach, and maybe Baker Mayfield can pull something out? That's something I'm keeping an eye out for. I expect it to be a pretty low-scoring game, but we will see how that goes. And, of course, it does come down to missed opportunities with this team. It probably should not be at this particular juncture, but here we are. Talking a lot of football. We got Steelers, we got Pitt, Couple semifinal bowl games tonight for a college football playoff. We'll talk about that too. 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. See you in a minute.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.